The night she opened her door to a homeless stranger was the night her village decided to destroy her. The story about Amaka. That night did not knock the way visitors usually did. It knocked the way fate knocks. Slow, careful, as if testing whether the heart behind the door was ready to choose. Amaka was already lying down, her wrapper pulled tightly around her body, listening to the restless wind outside. The fire in her hearth was dying, and the pot of soup she had cooked earlier barely held enough for one person. Nights like this always carried warnings. Her mother used to say, "When the night is too quiet, something is watching." The knock came again, soft, patient. Her chest tightened. In her village, no one visited at such an hour unless death, debt, or destiny followed behind them. "Who is there?" she asked, forcing her voice to stay steady. "A tired man," the voice replied. "Please." She hesitated. Her hand rested on the latch while her mind raced through every story she had ever heard. Of spirits disguised as humans, of curses brought in by kindness, of women whose mercy became their ruin. Something in her spirit whispered, "Close the door." Something louder whispered, "Open it." When she finally pulled the door open, the oil lamp revealed a man who looked like life had finished using him and thrown him away. His clothes were torn and dirty. His sandals were broken. His shoulders sagged under invisible weight. But his eyes, those eyes were not desperate. They were calm, observant, too composed for a man with nothing. "I won't stay long," he said. "I only need to sit." Amaka looked past him into the night. The wind had stopped. Even the insects were quiet. "Come in," she said. And just like that, trouble entered her life without raising its voice. By morning, the village had already decided who she was. They did not ask her why. They did not ask him where he came from. They only watched. And watching turned quickly into whispering. "She wants attention. She thinks she's better than us. She has brought a curse." As Amaka walked to the stream with her bucket balanced on her head, she felt eyes pressing into her back. Conversations stopped when she passed. Children were pulled away. Women shook their heads openly. Her closest friend, Sade, did not greet her. That hurt more than the whispers. When Amaka returned home, she found the stranger sitting quietly on a stool outside her hut, warming his hands in the morning sun. He had washed his face. He had swept the front of her compound. He did not ask for food. "People are angry," Amaka said. "Yes," he replied calmly. "Anger travels faster than truth." She studied him closely. "You speak like someone who knows people too well." A faint smile crossed his face. "I have been both the angry one and the feared one." That afternoon, something strange happened. A trader bought 3 of her woven mats without bargaining. Before evening, a woman returned money she had owed Amaka for months, apologizing with tears in her eyes. Amaka counted the coins slowly, confusion tightening in her chest. "This has never happened before," she whispered. The stranger said nothing, but his eyes followed the movement of her hands, thoughtful, almost sad. On the second night, the first warning arrived. Amaka returned from the stream to find her soup pot overturned. The food inside was gone, no footprints, no explanation. "Someone was here," she said. "Yes," the stranger replied, "and they did not come with peace." That night, stones were thrown at her roof. Not enough to destroy it, just enough to frighten her. Voices shouted from the darkness, "Send him away! Before he destroys us!" Amaka sat on the floor, shaking. "This is my fault," she whispered. "I should never have." He interrupted gently. "You did nothing wrong. Fear always looks for someone to blame." By the third day, her goat disappeared. By the fourth, her farm tools were missing. Her mat stall was avoided entirely. And still the stranger stayed calm. That frightened her more than the threats. The elders summoned her on the 5th day. "You will send that man away," Elder Bako said, his voice sharp beneath his red cap, "before what follows him consumes us." "But nothing bad has happened," Amaka replied. Bako slammed his staff on the ground. "Not yet. Evil does not announce itself." That night, Amaka overheard voices near her hut. Sad's voice was among them. "She thinks she's special now," Sad said bitterly. "Let's see how special she feels when he brings real trouble." Amaka's heart cracked. She confronted Sade later, her voice trembling. "Did you take my tools?" Sade laughed coldly. "Living with madness is making you imagine things." But her eyes avoided Amaka's. That was when Amaka understood the betrayal had already crossed the line. The elders met in secret. Amaka was not invited. But children talk, and fear leaks. "They say he is a demon," a boy whispered to her. "They say if they offer him, the village will be safe." That night, Amaka packed a small bag. "We must leave," she told the stranger. "Tonight?" He shook his head slowly. "Running will not protect you." Before dawn, they came pretending to help. Men with soft voices, elders with fake concern. "Let us escort him out peacefully," Bako said. Amaka stepped in front of the stranger. "No," Sade stepped forward. "She knows who he is," Sade lied loudly. "She's hiding him for money." The crowd turned violent. The lie cut deeper than any blade. They struck Amara. Not enough to kill her, just enough to silence her. They dragged the stranger toward the forest. And then engines. Black vehicles arrived like judgment. Men in suits stepped out. "Sir," one said, bowing deeply, "we've been searching everywhere." The village collapsed in fear. After that night, the village did not recover. Opportunities bypassed them. Aid disappeared. The clinic closed. Amaka was blamed. Her hut was burned completely. She crawled into the bush with nothing but pain and shame. Months later, a letter found her. "You paid the full price for kindness? Come." The city did not welcome her. It tested her. She worked, failed, rose, fell again, learned. Even there, betrayal followed, but she endured. Years later, she returned not to save the village, but to free herself. Sade came kneeling. "I was afraid," Sade cried. Amaka looked at her calmly. "Fear explains betrayal," she said. "It does not excuse it." That night, another knock came. A tired woman, hungry, ashamed. Amaka paused. Then she opened the door. Because even after everything, she refused to let darkness decide who she would become. And that was the greatest wealth the stranger ever tested.